10th of September, we've just got news that we're expecting 10 new badger cull licenses to be issued by the Secretary of State in there tomorrow morning. That will mean effectively over the next 8 to 10 weeks that we're probably going to see 50,000 more badgers killed across 42 different regions of this country. That's probably going to be the largest destruction of a protected species in living memory. That is being undertaken at a time when Parliament up the road has been shut for over 5 weeks. It won't reopen until the middle of October, so there'll be no parliamentary scrutiny over that slaughter of those badgers at all. It's being taken against the background of new scientific evidence that was released yesterday that shows in the Gloucestershire cull zone the level of TB incidence in herds has increased by over 130%. It's also a decision being taken in the face of growing evidence. And we heard this from one of the leading academics involved in the independent expert panel when this whole policy was started in 2013, who said yesterday to the BBC that he believes at least 9,000 badgers over the last 5 years have taken more than 5 minutes to die of blood loss and organ failure as a result of a controlled shooting method, which the British Veterinary Association has said is cruel and is actually very ineffective and should be halted. But the government and the National Farmers Union continue to use it because it's a cheap way of killing badgers. Now, by the end of 2019, we will probably have killed, the British government, nearly 130,000 badgers in England since 2013. Of those 113, only about 920 of those badgers has been tested for TB, and around 85% of those animals were found to be completely disease-free. So we are basically pushing an endangered species to the verge of extinction in parts of England where it's lived since the Ice Age, knowing that most of the animals that are being killed at great public expense, probably 50–60 million pounds, have no TB whatsoever. That is an absolute national disgrace. And it's also all the more worse because of the political crisis we're facing in this country. When we see Parliament return in the middle of October, we're probably going to see a no confidence vote in Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, which is probably going to result in the collapse of his government or his resignation, and we will see an interim government appointed. That interim government will be in place maybe for a matter of weeks until a national election will take place at the end of November. That means we are very, very likely to see a new government or a coalition government formed that will stop this cruel policy. So I asked the question of the Secretary of State, I asked the question of the Chairman of Natural England, I asked the question of the Prime Minister, why kill 40 or 50,000 badgers for no benefit to farmers, at huge expense to the taxpayer, in a very cruel way, when it's not going to make any difference to bovine TB at all, when you know that we might see a change of government and all this will stop. They should never issue those licenses. Tomorrow the Secretary of State should withdraw them, not issue them. This is a disgusting case of ecological vandalism. This is a disgusting national disgrace that shames this nation. When this policy comes to an end, and it will, and it probably will by November this year, there must be a public inquiry. All of the politicians in that place, all of the civil servants, all of the vets and farming representatives that have been involved must be held to account for gross misconduct in public office. This is not acceptable. We will hold them to account for this. We should never see a government make war on our wildlife for short-term economic and political interests. It must stop now.